The first portion of our meeting today is going to be a bit more information on Femtech Canada, who we are, the origin story, and where we're going. And then we're going to spend a large portion of this meeting breaking out into some roundtables, which are going to be led by our advisory board members. And this is going to be an opportunity to dig a little bit deeper into the Femtech Canada landscape and talk about the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. We'll come back together and debrief those sessions. And then we're going to tell you a few of our asks from Femtech Canada, and then we'll open the floor for your asks and also an opportunity to celebrate any successes that we have in front of us today. And that'll be all for our first roundtable. So before we go any further, I'd like to invite one of our advisory board members, Dallas, to come off mute and give the land recognition for today's meeting.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dallas. I'm the founder and CEO of Rhea Health. I want to use this as an opportunity to invite everyone to think about why we do these land acknowledgements. What is the intention behind us doing them besides it's something we do now? Yes, I think it's a great chance to learn and reflect, but I think we have a greater opportunity with these moments, an opportunity for open dialogue and even more calls to action. Land acknowledgements should be personal and intentional. For me, I've been living in what's known as London, Ontario lately, which is land of 3 Indigenous nations, the Chippewas of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and the Munsee Delaware Nation. As someone of settler descent, I believe that I have a personal responsibility to learn, understand my privilege in the ways that I can amplify voices of Indigenous folks, but also know when to sit back and listen. I now have a platform as a Femtech founder, and I think this gives me a unique opportunity and further responsibility to work alongside Indigenous femme and queer communities. From a Femtech Canada perspective, I think we have an incredible opportunity here today to pull this thought into our conversations. What does truth and reconciliation look like for us as an organization? How can we work towards that every day? And even how can we bring Femtech and health innovations to Indigenous communities around the country? Let's call them in. These efforts must be collaborative. I'm still learning, chatting with my team, friends, and family. I think we're all still learning and unlearning, but let's be deliberate and personal with land acknowledgements. Thanks so much. And I'm humbled to live and spend time on this traditional and unceded territory.
Thank you so much, Dallas. I am going to hand the floor over to Rachel Bartholomew, who is the founder of High Ivy. She is also the mother of Femtech Canada. So Rachel, take it away.
Thank you, Andrea. I love the mother thing. It makes me feel so like warm and fuzzy about this all. So I am so excited. Everyone is here. This has been incredible. We did have over 100 signups, almost, I think 99 for this event. So hopefully we continue to have more trickle in. But it just shows you the extensiveness of the network that we have here and how many people are here that can actually connect and are involved and interested in Femtech. So I quickly want to do a poll. Everybody knows where reactions are on Zoom, correct? It's on the bottom bar. There's a little smiley face. I want you to open that up. And instead of raising hands, I'm thinking we're going to do emojis because then they like go away and then we're not all hands raised. Do the clapping emoji for all my Femtech founders who are in the room currently. Give me a clapping emoji. Okay, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. 8, 9. Love it. Okay, we got our claps. So now you know who the Femtech founders are in the room. Any aspiring Femtech founders, give me a thumbs up. Oh, we got 1, we got 2, we got 3. Beautiful. Somebody put a heart in there. We'll get to the hearts. Let's maybe do hearts for any investors that are in the room, or maybe partners, big corporate that might be here. Oh, not as hot of a target. Oh, we got two. Amazing. Okay, love it. And then let's do maybe not the crying happy face. Maybe, yeah, let's do the crying happy face one for all my incubators, government people in the room, supporters, researchers. Beautiful. Andy, Pamela, awesome. Beautiful. Okay, we got a couple. Amazing. So now you all know who's kind of in the room, circling around, who we can kind of talk to as we start to dive into this a little bit more. But my name is Rachel. I am the mother of Femtech Canada, I guess. And essentially what happened, for those of you who I know well, and I know most of the people in the room, you've heard this story before, but how Femtech Canada came to be, I was at a local health food store, I won't say which one, and I was at the cash register and I noticed a magazine, and I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to call them out. And I hope nobody actually works for this magazine who's here or knows somebody, but we won't talk about that. It was this Canadian natural health and wellness magazine. And I saw on the cover, what the heck is Femtech? And I open up this beautiful article that had multiple pages, like we're a good 5 pages long. And, they're talking about reproductive health, period care, pregnancy, post-pregnancy, menopause, and midlife. But not one Canadian company was mentioned in this Canadian magazine on Femtech. And I was like, okay, I know a couple companies that could have easily been highlighted in these sections. Where are they? Why are they not in here? I'm sorry to the author, but more research on Canadian Femtech. So what I wanted to do was really pull together, who are the Femtech companies in Canada? What is available out there? We all know Femtech Insider, Femtech Focus, and all these great initiatives outside of Canada. But yet we have a really unique, underrepresented group here. We have huge amounts of diversity in our culture, and we even have our own healthcare system, but yet there was no structure around this Femtech group. And so I pulled up my socks on a long weekend and essentially created a database of 51 companies, which is now growing to 60 plus companies that are working in the space from coast to coast in Canada, and really identified some of the big white spaces that we still have a lot of work to do in Femtech. And so what I noticed, and I wanted to share a couple key stats that I saw, there are 2 companies in sexual health. There's 1 in mental health for women specifically in Canada, 2 in menopause, 3 in breast health, and 3 in hormone health from what I've identified so far. I know this is something that's growing, but huge white spaces where there's so much room for improvement. There's so much room for activities. There's so much room for people to come in and do more work in these spaces. And so just bringing that to light was a huge undertaking, but something I knew had to be done. Of course, the world, being a startup founder myself, my startup got in the way of taking this to the next level. But luckily, I met Andrea through actually Swati, who's on our advisory board, who's going to kind of talk with some of you. I was able to meet her through an initiative that Swati put together. We started talking. Next thing you know, she's working at a place I told her to go visit, which is the Innovation Factory in Hamilton. And she said, hey, do you want to do something more? And can I support you with this? And I said, heck yes, please, for the love of God, come and help me. So thus, Femtech started to grow into what it is today. And I will hand off to Andrea to kind of give you a background on their group, our advisory board, and we'll talk a little bit about the mission and our roundtables and all the good stuff coming up.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. So as Rachel mentioned, I work at the Innovation Factory. So my role with Femtech Canada is the program manager on behalf of the Innovation Factory. The Innovation Factory is one of 18 regional innovation centers located in Ontario, Canada. We consider ourselves a catalyst for tech innovation in the Greater Hamilton region and an anchor of support for members of the McMaster Innovation Park. My role at the Innovation Factory is to work directly with clients in the IT space, advanced manufacturing, clean tech, life sciences, integrated mobility, and social innovation. When I joined the Innovation Factory, we had maybe 1 or 2 Femtech members. In about a year of being here, we've doubled our interest in Femtech, and we see a growing request from companies with ideas in this space. That being said, there's still ample room to do more. In my conversations with clients that were working in the Femtech space or wanted to work in the Femtech space, they would ask questions like, what investment groups are actually actively investing in Femtech products or women's health? Who are the peers in this space I can connect to? Is there a community group I can be a part of? I don't feel like I fully fit into life science sometimes, but when I go to consumer packaged good groups, I also don't really fit in there. And as an accelerator that wants to give the best services we can to our clients, we felt there was something that could be done to service this growing industry better and hopefully draw attention to the amplitude, like the white space, as Rachel mentioned, the ample white space that could be innovated in. Since I had the opportunity to meet Rachel, I came to her, with my Innovation Factory hat on and said, I think there's the perfect opportunity to align what you've started and our resources at the Innovation Factory together, use our position as a nonprofit to act as a third party that could lead this to the next level, apply for funding, and just basically help this scale across Canada. So that's the Innovation Factory's involvement with Femtech Canada, and I'm very honored to get to be the program manager from this team to take this forward. These people on your screen are our wonderful advisory board as it stands right now. Starting from the left, we have Dallas, who you've met earlier, who is the founder of Rhea Health. We have Swati, who is the founder of Global Cares, Susan, who is the marketing lead at High Ivy, and as well a very recognized voice in the Femtech community. She is actually recognized today as a first mover in Femtech from Femtech Focus in the US. We have Lana, who's the founder of AMA, Rachel, the founder of High Ivy, Julia, the founder of Treehouse, Linda, the founder of Joni, and Melanie, the founder of Yes Rome. We are still building out our advisory board and recognize the gaps that we have in our advisory group, and are actively looking to engage with members of the Indigenous community and Black community as well to bring their expertise on board as well too. So if anybody's interested or know anyone we should be talking to, please get in touch. I also want to point out that all these members volunteer their time. These are not paid positions. They do this out of passion and deep respect for the space that they operate in. So, Rachel, I'll hand it back over to you. What the heck is Femtech Canada?
Yeah, so this advisory board and I and Andrea and the Innovation Factory team came together and really talked about, how do we define Femtech? We know that Femtech as a term is an evolving term. It's an all-encompassing term, and it's really something that's changing over time. And these are the types of things that we want to happen, have these discussions about what does this mean for us? How do we be inclusive? And how do we really, encompass what everything is and could be in this term. And so how we really see it as this all-encompassing, ever-evolving term that tackles current gaps in access, quality, and efficiency of solutions that improve the quality of life and health of traditionally marginalized bodies. So, the way that we look at it is women, girls, non-binary folks, trans, those assigned female at birth. On the technology side, it's not just about hardcore tech. It's products, it's services, it's diagnostics, it's data, it's software, it's all these things that can be tied together. And most importantly, what underlies this term is the focus on healthcare and wellness in this space, and what has been disproportionately or differently affecting this group in particular when it comes to healthcare and wellness. And so what we really are hoping to do and to continue to grow, and we'll talk a little bit at the end about what our next steps are and some of the exciting things we have coming out, but we really want this cross Canada support. And so we've actually applied for funding from the government. There will be potentially 5 provincial accelerators and incubators that provide a whole slew of resources, support, all of these things that current Femtech founders, as well as those who are interested in Femtech, can get leverage and achieve things that they want to do with the resources provided from these accelerators. And so when we drafted up this funding proposal, we really looked at 3 pillars. So ecosystem, capacity building, mentorship, and digital growth and a digital presence. And so some of the things we're mulling over, and part of the reason why you're here today is to think through some of these things and what you would like to see. But we've already had a number of investors come forward and say, I want to meet these companies. I want to invest in Femtech. So helping make these investor Femtech founder collisions happen. We've also additionally had partners. We've had shoppers. We've had an insurance company come forward. We've even had RBCX come forward and say, I want to partner. I want to help out with what's going on in Femtech in Canada. We're also looking at different networking events. These roundtables, we're hoping we can continue on and start to really dive in deep into topics, bring in resources, bring in speakers. Looking at online tools, we're even thinking about a conference as well. So we really want your thoughts on that moving forward. But why we're all here today, I want to dive into the roundtables. So this is all about data gathering for us specifically right now. As we move forward, we want to dive into specific topics that we're hoping to gather kind of some of these topics today. What we're going to do is we are going to break everybody who's in the room up into these small groups, each with an advisory board member. All my advisory board people, I want you to pick a speaker or a representative who is not you to represent your group, or maybe it's everybody, I don't know, up to you, just to share some topics and some things. And so our advisory board group has been given a number of questions to ask the group just to prompt these discussions. And essentially, we're just looking for, what are your challenges? What are some opportunities that you think are missing? What are some topics that you think we should focus on? What are some of those burning things that are keeping you up at night as a Femtech supporter, founder, ecosystem, whatever it is? That's what we want to discuss. So we're going to do about 20 minutes and we'll give you a 5-minute warning once we get going, but also introduce yourself, say hi, and yeah, we'll lead into the breakout of the roundtables.